Good morning, everyone. My name is Bruce Newman, and I'm the president of the Brookhaven Business Advisory Council. And I want to welcome you to this morning's BBAC breakfast event, which is being sponsored by Suffolk Federal Credit Union. For those of you that don't know about the BBAC, we're a volunteer organization. We work with the Town of Brookhaven Office of Economic Development, and we work on initiatives to help businesses in the community. Some of those initiatives have to do with providing public information programs such as this one, and we have other events, job fairs, and a range of other things that we work on for businesses in general. So we're going to try to move quickly this morning. We have a couple of speakers that are not here at the moment, but when they do arrive, we're probably going to pause and have them say a couple of words, and then we'll resume the program. I'd like to ask, if you have cell phones, if you could turn them down or turn them off. We have about 7 presentations. We're going to move through those quickly, and again, we want to do this efficiently. So if you could hold your questions until the end, we'll have a microphone we'll pass around. We also have on each of the chairs a questionnaire. We'd like your feedback on this morning's event. That would help us for future events. So with that, we can move on here. This morning's moderator is Mr. William O'Brien. He's the president and CEO of Federal Credit Union, this morning's sponsor. So Suffolk Federal Credit Union was chartered in 1967 and now has assets approaching $900 million. Bill has over 30 years of experience in consumer and commercial finance services with institutions such as Toyota Financial Services, Fifth Third Bank, and Bank of America. In addition, Bill has extensive community involvement with organizations such as the Long Island Cares, Harry Chapin Food Bank, Suffolk County Girl Scouts, Long Island Today, and Tomorrow's Hope Foundation, where Bill serves on the board of directors. So Bill, you're a busy man. So everyone, if you could please help me welcome Bill O'Brien.
Thank you very much, Mr. Newman. He forgot to tell you what makes me the busiest of all. I have 3 daughters, 15, 13, and 11. So if you're wondering why I have this glazed over look, it's not just for today, and it's not because of you. It's my life. But anyway, I'm really honored to be here with you this morning, and welcome. The Brookhaven Business Advisory Council, it's really important, especially in economic times like today. We have to muster all our resources between community, local government, national government, banking and finance, and all the leadership in our communities to help small business survive in these tough times. Very, very low interest rates, while they seem very good, aren't necessarily very good for everybody. So we need to find ways to work through this. And I can't believe that I get to stand here and talk to you for a little bit with all this talent on this board. I'm just a kid from Old Bridge, New Jersey, and I'm sitting here I've read all their bios last night on the internet, and I looked at my wife and said, I am truly honored to be here. This group, the Advisory Council's main purpose is really to foster communication between the business community and the town of Brookhaven, and that is an excellent start to solve the aforementioned problem. To put together the people that are on this panel to facilitate that is just absolutely tremendous. In conjunction with Stony Brook University, there is an enormous amount of resources available in terms of, next generation business ideas, processes, and just a world of information to get to help you with your business. Now, I really think that everybody in this room needs to take advantage of the resources here, and in particular, the people up front. So when it comes time to ask questions, by all means, ask lots of questions. I would like to take a moment for some sheer naked self-promotion. At Suffolk Federal Credit Union, we have a tremendous business lending department. We have lots of money to lend, and we have enormously talented people in this room. Joe Ancona heads up the business lending area. I've been in banking for 30 years. He's one of the best credit people I ever met. We have Jeff Sherman, new business lender with us, and Keith Miller. If you have depository needs, lending needs, please, by all means, see them. Now, before I get off, I'd like to introduce our host, Kathleen Walsh. She's been in local politics since 2005. She's a very strong advocate of business in Brookhaven, and she's been very, very involved in all facets of government. So with that, I'd like to bring Kathy Walsh up.
Good morning, and excuse my tardiness. I actually pulled into the parking lot, thought I was in the wrong spot, and kept going till I hit 25A and came back. We have so many little gems in the area here on the campus of Stony Brook University that we as business people, as local community members, are very fortunate to have such a resource here. And all of you being here today in support of the Brookhaven Business Advisory Council show that Brookhaven is really the place to be. We are trying to do what we can do on the town end to expedite applications and encourage business. We have, as most of you know, because many of you I've seen at different events that we've hosted through our economic development forum at Town Hall, people in our economic development department that are very capable and able and willing to help in whatever it is you may need to succeed in your business. And in turn, it helps all of us. It helps us at every level of being a community member, whether we're in business or if we're a young family that wants to continue to stay on Long Island or have our children go to wonderful world-class universities like Stony Brook and then stay in the area and continue to provide that family network. So I want to welcome you all here this morning, and I hope that you take away some great information from this event, as I'm sure you will. And thank you to our panel for being here and sharing all of their expertise with our local business people. So enjoy your day, and thank you.
Okay, we'd like to start off with Patricia Malone, the Executive Director of Corporate Education and Training. She has extensive experience in initiating and facilitating collaborative training and workforce initiatives that directly impact the local economy. She's also co-edited a book entitled Enhancing Creativity in Adult and Continuing Education. She holds undergraduate degree from the University of Dayton and an MBA from Stony Brook University. So I give you Patricia Malone.
Well, good morning and thank you. I am very delighted to be up here and speak to you because I'm incredibly passionate about what we do, and working with the town of Brookhaven is a very exciting opportunity for us, and I think there's some hidden opportunities that perhaps we can unveil today. I also want to start by saying that the beauty of this research university and the role of workforce corporate education and training is really quite different than you would see around the country. The partnerships that we have up here, my esteemed colleagues to my left and right, all work together with us in unity and connect the dots in terms of funding for your businesses, technology transfer, wireless and IT, research and development and sensors. So you can be assured that the training and workforce work that we do here is applied from what's coming from the emerging technologies coming at this campus. And by applied, I mean it really is incredibly operational. We are the people that go in and offer the lean manufacturing training, or Six Sigma. We're the ones that companies call when they say, I have an OSHA issue and I want to rewrite my manual. Do you know somebody? We're the ones that do supervisory effectiveness management development, set up executive MBA programs for consortiums of companies, and work with the regional council the Governor's Regional Council, in facilitating discussions on the Workforce and Education Committee to come forth with initiatives such as the STEM Hub and the Composites Training Center and several other kinds of things that are occurring right here on the island. In the area that I work in, we have several different units. I oversee an advanced energy training institute dedicated to training renewable energy, clean energy certifications. I also run a transitional professional program where just last week we had a graduation of 62 people, over 850 professionals from Wall Street and beyond. Your sister, brother, aunt, uncle, friend, and cousin who lost their jobs in outgrowth of the crisis has had an opportunity to come to our university and go through certification training. And we have a return on investment of job placement that exceeds anything on the national average. We have documents of companies that have hired our people. Over 40% have gotten fabulous jobs at companies here on Long Island. So when we speak about economic development, we really do walk the talk. We look at opportunities in training to connect people to jobs, and we have employers like you posting your open positions to an exclusive website for these professionals. So that hidden job market, when you call somebody and say, do you know of somebody who can be a VP of Ops, or do you have a great business office manager, or I need business development assistance? We have a website here for that, and you can see me afterwards if you need some assistance. We run operational excellence in the Six Sigma methodologies in Lean, and we also run a project management institute with credentials. That is a list of all of the different logos of the colleagues we work with. We have a robust advisory board. We met here last week. Over 25 Long Island companies are part of the board, and there's an extended network, large, small companies, all different sectors. We work with all the other colleges and universities. So if there's an issue relating to technician training or some special skill that doesn't rest right here at the university, you can make a call and we'll refer you to the network that we're in partnership with. We're in constant dialogue with the community colleges, the four-year schools, the public and the private institutions, the BOCES. In our vision, we are truly looking to close the talent and skill gap. About a year and a half ago, Mark Lesko came here and addressed our transitional professional group and spoke about the seedlings of Accelerate Long Island. Those are the individuals, the people that work for you. It's cultivating the talent and keeping us adept in global knowledge and technologies to keep our region competitive. So we are really close to doing labor market studies and assessments in addition to the training. So we really work within the DNA of our region. We don't just regurgitate a training program because we hear it's good. We put something together that has relevance for you. There's a couple of pictures of the regional council meetings that were held here at Stony Brook over the past 2 years. You can see some familiar faces in those. And I was very excited to be up in Albany when we got the Big Plan Award. So it just shows the connectivity of the workforce training piece within the regional councils, which I think was probably one of the big highlights from the Big Plan that Long Island received. No one came up with something like the STEM Hub, which is housed right out of Brookhaven Labs and connected like us in this region. So we really speak very highly of that. I have several different units that I have sketched out here that we oversee. But as I mentioned, the management development, project management, supervisory and management training in a variety of areas is core. My brochures are in the back on the left. There are 3 different brochures if you want more details. That is a picture of us at the Advanced Energy Conference last year in Albany, disseminating the statewide study on green jobs. We worked with 4 other partners to demystify what's real in terms of green jobs, where the money should be spent, and what the applied knowledge is in 4 sectors. It was a very, very exciting opportunity to do the research, and we're still implementing now the outcome of that. In our operational excellence, as I mentioned, we're looking at leaning Long Island, sort of taking energy efficiency and certifications, the lean methodology, and helping create a very competitive environment cost-wise and overhead-wise in terms of how we cultivate our competitive angle on this island in operations tied together with other areas. One of the CFA awards that we had was PL Developments. They were in the newspaper, and that is a picture of their graduation at their Six Sigma. And we have many, many programs running here. That is a picture of GE Aviation using our facilities to run a teaming program with cellular manufacturing. And we're now on site there doing coaching and mentoring for their staff because everybody knows they need to have a succession plan. They need to take the knowledge of people and move it down to the incoming emerging workers to share that wealth of information and cultivate a staff that they can continue to grow with. So they are closing the skill gap themselves with support from our resources. That's a picture of the Transitional Professional Group just 2 weeks ago. We did make it to Newsday and several other journals, so we're very excited we got some attention. But the story of this is truly that together, the employers in your region, the university, the partnerships we have through the workforce boards, and all the collaboration and connectivity is really helping to get people that have lost their jobs back to work again, to give them hope and a chance to get back into the economy, and to help you bring people back in where you need special skills added to your whole roster of portfolio at your organization. I do go after funding, so there is often funding for training programs. We do work with the connectivity of the island in terms of the workforce system funding and Recovery Act money, and we are very excited about what we do. So please, if you have any questions, let me know, and welcome to Stony Brook.
Thank you, Patricia. And I'm going to go a little bit off script because I heard two incredibly important things in that discussion. One is Six Sigma, and the other is a method to solve what really is part of our huge economic problem, which is the dislocation between jobs we need and people that don't have jobs. And it sounds like that's an excellent vehicle to help close that gap. When I initially started talking, I said that even though it's a low interest rate, that can be very problematic for small businesses, and that's because money becomes a commodity and a lot of other things become a commodity, which means prices get driven down. Think about that when you think about Six Sigma, and for those of you who are really not aware of it, because it's typically thought of as a very large corporate process. It was developed by Motorola, made famous by Jack Welch at General Electric, but it's a methodology to reduce all redundancies in anything at a company at any stage of the productive process. I may get the math wrong, but I think you try to reduce your errors to 3.17 per million attempts at something. Is that right, Doctor? 3.6, yeah. Okay, well, I was close enough for a banker, right? But anyway, that is incredibly important stuff, and it's not just something that is for large corporations. Small companies should do it also, and I have done it at the last 3 companies, and it has helped improve margins dramatically, which means more money in your pocket, more jobs, and a better company. So I promote others besides just myself, too, if I hear the right things. And that was absolutely tremendous. That was wonderful to hear. Our next speaker is Donna Tominello. She's the Assistant Director in the Office of Technology and Licensing for Stony Brook. She's responsible for coordinating intellectual property management and technology transfer activities for the College of Engineering and Applied Sciences. She's managed many diverse research projects and teams and startup activities for over 30 years. So, Donna?
And thank you, Bill. And good morning. Welcome to Stony Brook. I have the pleasure of talking to you today about how technology gets transferred from Stony Brook into the public domain. So the Office of Technology Licensing and Industry Relations, we've been around at least 15 or 20 years now at Stony Brook. And our mission statement is to facilitate the commercialization of Stony Brook's technology for both societal and economic benefit. So Stony Brook University is a research university, and as a research institution, we get approximately $180 million of research from federal and state programs such as the NIH, the NSF, Department of Defense, Department of Energy. And the research that's conducted here at Stony Brook often results in technology that might be unique and useful and non-obvious. The 3 criteria that are established for whether or not they're suitable for patent protection. So my office has a budget for filing patents, protecting the ideas that come out of our Stony Brook researchers, and not just federal funding, but industry funding as well. So we work very closely with businesses to provide research support and then transfer the technology, the patents, to the company through our licensing agreements. And that's really what the basics of what tech transfer is all about. And of course, we work with many customers on campus. We mine technology development in both the health sciences as well as the engineering sciences. That includes the medical center and all the research coming out of the medical center, as well as our School of Dental Medicine, Computer Engineering and Applied Sciences, and of course the Center of Excellence here at CWIT, as well as our Energy Center next door. So we're very busy helping to identify and protect technologies for the benefit of our industry partners, because those patents are only valuable when companies can utilize them in order to protect their inventions, commercialize, create a monopoly for a certain period of time. And that's really where we're able to transfer and talk with our industry partners. So in addition to our internal customers, we have a list of external customers. Of course, number one is our industry partners. And I can tell you just one story, a local story. We have a medical device manufacturer, mainly for physical and occupational therapy in the town of Brookhaven, a company called Biodex. And Biodex, one of their engineers had come to Stony Brook, took his MBA here, and while he was here, he met a faculty member and actually was hiring some of the students to work there. So there was a local connection that way. And we wound up having an invention come out of mechanical engineering, which has to do with a lift assist for people that have trouble getting out of a chair. And they learned about this technology. They got very excited about it. They talked to us about their interest. We came up with some funding in my organization to develop a prototype that could be mass produced. And right now, we're in the process of having that prototype take place locally. And hopefully, in the end, we'll have a license agreement with them, and they will be out manufacturing and selling this device that is very unique, and we feel there's a very large market for something like this. So that's just an example of something that we've done with a local partner. And of course, there's a lot more opportunities beyond that one technology. We also have joint research with Brookhaven Lab, Columbia University, NYU, Cold Spring Harbor Lab. So we go beyond just the research that's done here, and we collaborate with our local academic partners. So this is just a depiction of the way that we do business, and it all cultivates in the end to economic development, which is why we're all here. But we provide education and administration to faculty in the areas of patents. And we administer those patents, we apply for them, we work with local patent counsel to make sure that we're getting the most broad patents that we possibly can. We manage those patents and we market them to industry, and then of course enter into license agreements. And we also, one of our top priorities is to license to startup companies. So we have a preference for startups, and more importantly for local startups. So we try to coordinate our efforts with local entrepreneurs, and we have average about maybe 3 or 4 startups a year, which is a pretty good rate. And again, we do a lot of outreach with faculty and also with industry. We try to understand what needs you might have with respect to developing new products. And we have a wide range of opportunities with material science and chemical engineering, and of course energy. And there's just, again, there's such a breadth of researchers here at Stony Brook that you don't normally find at a typical research institution, because we do have both the medical and engineering sides of campus, and we do like to coordinate them working together. And by the way, that one device I told you about was tested over at the Veterans Home. So we have opportunities to also do some testing for medical devices. So the way it works is that our faculty come to us, they disclose inventions to us, and then if they were funded by industry, we offer you a free option to license those agreements, those patents. So you have some time to think about whether or not you want to do that. So we give you basically the right of first refusal if you funded the research here to enter into a license agreement with us. And we also can conduct some market research for you. We have a business school that we partner with here on campus. Sometimes we have them sign confidentiality agreements. If it's required by the company, we might have them do some market research as well. So again, bringing in the business side of things here on campus, and it's good for our students to get involved in things like that. So, one of the critical roles that we play also is managing our partnerships. We can provide project management experience for the research that goes on here. So we can be the project manager at Stony Brook, work with the project manager at your company, and make sure that the deliverables that are laid out are being met, and those milestones are being met. And how do we rate our success is with our economic impact. So every year we report to the Association of University Technology Managers. We report our milestones, we report how much revenue Stony Brook has generated through our licensing arrangements. And we talk a little bit about the startup companies that we had played a role in, as well as employees that were hired for instance, a new product in the pipeline. Startup companies and job creation is also something that we report. So these are the strengths that we see out of our department. We all have technical backgrounds as well as business backgrounds. Some of us also pursue our law degrees as well. We do have a very diverse technology portfolio. We have many technologies that are available for licensing. We have strong relationships with our faculty, and again, the ability to promote interdisciplinary research here. And so these are some of the things that we'd like to offer you, and the ability to leverage our resources. And I just wanted to give you a little idea of the pipelines that we have with respect to intellectual property. We broke them up into sections. For instance, this is our therapeutic pipeline, and these are some of the companies that we've partnered with, and the area of research that was conducted for this particular product. And as you can see, about a third of these products are already in the marketplace. And so it's a win-win. Our partner companies are making money. We're getting some royalty back to Stony Brook, and everybody's happy. Then we have our technology pipeline with respect to, again, all different things. A lot of this is computer science, energy, photovoltaics, nanotechnologies. The first couple, the virtual endoscopy, this is the technologies that we've licensed to some very large CAT scan manufacturers for an alternative to traditional colonoscopies, virtual colonoscopy. And that's my presentation. So thank you very much for your attention.
Is you waiting outside? Okay, so I can start talking about them? Okay. All right, we're going to take a little break from our presenters because our special guest, the Honorable Timothy Bishop, is coming up the stairs. He's the congressman for the 1st District of New York State, which really encompasses most of the East End from Smithtown all the way to Montauk. The congressman has been a congressman for about 10 years now, and I know it's that time of his life when he's extraordinarily busy because he's running for office again. And as everybody in this room probably knows, it's an enormously difficult election cycle. And I would like to go off script about the congressman. If I could tell you about his committees and his interest in the economy, the environment. But what I'd really like to do is tell you about a story. Because I was new to Long Island, I came here to run Suffolk Federal, and within a year of being here, I encountered a huge problem. And it was a problem of such magnitude that I can't tell you about because I signed some documents that preclude me from it. But my first thought was, I need to call my congressman. So I called Congressman Bishop. Within 48 hours, I had a meeting. He spent 1 hour with me to define the problem and to help me with the course of action. For the next 2.5 years, him and his incredible staff worked with me diligently, took my phone calls, helped me map out a strategy to work government, to turn it in the direction of Suffolk Federal Credit Union. It was a truly tremendous experience for me, and I am forever indebted to Congressman Bishop because he truly understands politics are local, and I know that he's always here for you. So with that, I'd like to introduce the Honorable Tim Bishop.
Well, good morning to all of you, and thank you for the opportunity to be with you. And I want to start by thanking Bill for that very, very kind introduction. And we were very pleased and proud to be part of the solution, and I don't want to overplay our role. This gentleman provides extraordinary leadership to his financial institution and deserves a great deal of the credit for the fact that this was an issue that went in the right direction, but we were pleased to be a part of it. And I thank you all for the work that you do. You provide service to the people that I represent in Washington, and we recognize, I think all of us in Congress, Republicans and Democrats alike, recognize that the key to one of the keys to our economic recovery is to see to it that we have in place an environment that allows small businesses to flourish. And it's one of the reasons that I was pleased in 2009 and 2010 to vote for 18 different tax breaks for small businesses that have now all been signed into law. And they include things like accelerated depreciation and increased expensing and reduction of withholding tax for businesses that hire out-of-work veterans, and lots of things, relief from capital gains tax in certain circumstances and so on. All things designed to allow businesses to keep more of what they take in the hopes that they will be able to take that money and invest it in their product line and invest it in growing their sales and building their businesses. And you know, we're in a tough slog. I will tell you, we're here on the campus of Stony Brook University, and I will tell you, let me set the context. I believe that there's always been a partnership in this country between the public sector and the private sector. The principal engines of job creation in this country have always been and are now those elements of the private sector that can invest and grow. And it's been the obligation of the public sector to provide the context within which, or to provide the environment within which that can take place. And so I want to just talk to you very briefly about something that is of great concern to me, that has a lot of currency in public discourse right now. And that is, I mean, as I say, we are on the campus of State University of New York at Stony Brook, by far and away the largest employer in the 1st Congressional District, by a factor of 6. Stony Brook University, including the hospital, employs almost 21,000 people. The next largest employer in the 1st Congressional District employs about 3,300, so 6 times the size Stony Brook is than the next one. So in other words, anything that happens that's good for Stony Brook University is good for our region. And anything that happens that's hurtful to Stony Brook University is difficult for our region to accommodate. And what I'm worried about is that if you ask anybody about the federal budget, one of the things they're going to say is you got to cut spending, right? You've all heard it, right? You got to cut spending. Well, guess what? If we cut spending in the wrong places, we are going to have the exact opposite effect of what we think that spending cut will yield. And I'm very concerned that there are proposals on the table that would be devastating to this university and its students. And if we make it more difficult for students to go to college, which is on the table, it has passed the House of Representatives, then this university won't need to employ as many faculty, and they won't need to employ as many secretaries and as many administrators and as many custodians and as many mechanics. So it matters what we do. And so what I think small businesses, and I think you'll agree with me, what you need more than anything else is customers, right? You need customers. And in order to have customers, you have to have people who have jobs so that they can spend the money to buy the products that you make. And if we put in place policies that are going to depress the number of people that are employed, then that's going to work against your interests. We could give you every tax break in the world, but if we're not giving you customers, it's not going to matter because you're not going to have any revenue that you're going to need to reduce with tax breaks. So all I'm asking is when you evaluate what's being proposed and when you evaluate what people say, try to look at it in terms of how it's going to affect jobs. And my job is to look at it in terms of how it's going to affect jobs right here in this district. And so one of the things that I'm going to do is do everything I possibly can to protect Stony Brook University, to protect Brookhaven National Lab, to protect the 5 of the top 20 employers in this district are hospitals. So reimbursement rates from Medicare and Medicaid and access to customers who actually have insurance that can pay their bills. Those are big things for hospitals. 10 of the top 20 employers in this district, 12 of them, are school districts. So we lay off teachers, which everybody says we got to do. Guess what? Fewer customers. So we just have to evaluate all this. I don't have an answer. I don't have a silver bullet. I'm just saying don't be taken in by arguments that have some sort of superficial allure, but when you look at them much more specifically and much more in depth, they are actually taking us in the exact wrong direction. I've gone on way, way too long. But since I had such a kind introduction, I thought you might indulge me. But anyway, I thank you all very, very much for what you do. I hope you have a great day, and I hope I get the chance to work with all of you for a long time to come. Thank you all very much.
Well done. Thank you very much, Congressman. That was wonderful. Okay, our next speaker is Dr. Satya Sharma. He's actually the executive director of this institution, and is it okay if I just call it CWIT? Everybody knows what CWIT is. He's the past senior vice president of Symbol Technologies, overseeing various divisions of the company, including worldwide operations, mobile computing, wireless engineering, quality and process improvements. So he probably knows a lot more about Six Sigma than I do, and maybe we'll correct one or two things I might not have been exactly accurate on. You know, when you get up there, you don't know all the details as much as you probably should. And I'm certainly guilty of that. He holds a PhD from the University of Pennsylvania, no, an MBA from University of Pennsylvania, and a PhD from the Ohio State, or do I have that backwards?
PhD from Penn and MBA from Ohio State.
Okay, all righty, both fine institutions. He's also had senior positions at AT&T Power Systems and far too many honors and designations for me to list here. So with that, I'll just give the microphone to the doctor.
Good morning, everybody. I welcome all of you to CVIT, which stands for Center of Excellence in Wireless and Information Technology. I think most of you will agree with me that the greatest strength this country has is the power of innovation. In fact, if you look at the contribution our country has made to the betterment of people all over the world, is because of the research that we have conducted and the technology that we have developed. If people think about internet, which has basically leveled the playing field for people all over the world, so anybody can create technology. That thing came out of United States. And so the purpose of this center here is to make sure that we remain leader in the wireless and information technology. This center is one of the 2 centers of its kind in the world. One over here in terms of the breadth and depth, and there is another one in California at UC San Diego. It's called CalIT2. And there is nothing like this any place in the world. So the strength of this center, and I think this goes to the foresight of some of the people in the government, they do deserve credit for this, is to think it through and see what will keep New York State as the leader in these kind of technologies. It's just like you cannot do anything without electricity. It's like a utility. Wireless and information technology is the technology that is ubiquitous. If we did not have it for one day, almost everything would stop. And we are actually at the beginning of this. In terms of the future and the power of this technology, we really haven't seen it yet, because now we're talking about the internet too, which will connect everything, not just the people, but including all the objects to the information sources. So this center is located in this R&D park, which is about 246 acres of land in this area, which the university acquired some time ago. The second center next door is the Advanced Energy Center. And New York State, by the way, has 8 centers of excellence, and 2 of them happen to be right here on this campus, one here and the one next door. Now we're working on the third center, which is what we call as the biomedical technology. And the idea is to construct 10 such centers like these in this campus. And when that happens, this will be very unique in place in the entire world, because nothing like this will exist any place in this country or any place else where you have close to about 1 million square feet of R&D space under a university. Something very, very unique. So what is the purpose? What is the purpose of these centers? It is not just to conduct research. See, this, I said, we have been the innovation engine of the entire world. Our country has been. So what has been the problem is converting that technology, converting that research into the technology and solutions which can be commercialized by our companies here in the United States. So we have a threefold mission: to do world-class research, which we always have done and will continue to do. We're part of the university, one of the research universities of the SUNY system. But equally important is to create the next generation enterprises, either working with the existing companies, or if the existing companies are not interested, then create brand new enterprises. And the third thing is to make sure that we are creating the next generation leaders in the wireless and IT. We have divided this center into what we call as the divisions. So it's not like the departments in the universities. So we have first three divisions, the network technology, software systems, communications. These are our research divisions. This is where we do research. And the next three divisions are our applied divisions. So we take that research and convert that into technology or solutions which can be commercialized. One is in the healthcare area, another one in the energy area, and the third one is everything else, including the finance and transportation and logistics. So we convert these into these divisions. This facility is 100,000 square feet. It has 40 new research labs that we did not have. And 7,000 square feet of the space in this center is reserved for the companies. We have close to about 8 incubator companies and 2 very large companies. One is CA, so their research center is basically located in this. They have close to about 70 people working here, some of our students, but in addition to that, a lot of their own people. In fact, the vice chairman of CA spends 2 days in this building. And then the other one is the next generation enterprise mobility research lab of Motorola, which is formerly Symbol Technologies. So they also have their research lab over here because they understand the importance of being closer to the university, because that's where a lot of brain resides. This center has close to about 290 PhD students and about 70 faculty members who are associated with this center. This is a 7 by 24 facility. Some of us leave at 5 o'clock, and a lot of the people come to work at 5 o'clock. We, in fact, used to close these doors at 2 o'clock in the morning, and then we heard complaints that, gee, we can't get out of this. We have to call the police to get out of this. So now this is open all the time. So you come there in the middle of the night and you see a lot of lights on, because that's the way we work. That's how the researchers work. That's how the new incubator companies work. There are no fixed times for that. The center is, I'm not going to go through the details, has the state-of-the-art facilities. We can have a cloud computing center. We actually work with the companies. They can rent the facilities here. And of course, all the modern thing you can think of is we have in this building. These are some of our focus areas: imaging, intelligent information system, wireless sensors, cybersecurity, which is very big in terms of, as you all know, cloud computing, high performance computing. We're working on the next generation superconductor-based supercomputer for the country. We're the only university in this consortium of about 10 different institutions. We're the chief architect of that system. And that supercomputer will have the power which will be 1,000 times stronger than any of the supercomputers which presently exist in the world. And we're designing that supercomputer here. And then wireless medicine, biomedical informatics. We, of course, have partnerships with large companies, national research labs, domestic and foreign academic institutions, high-tech startups. And 2 years ago, we opened a sister facility in Korea. It's called CVIT Korea. We also manage that. Does not cost us anything. We get funding for running that institution. The way we run is we have Industrial Advisory Board. The Industrial Advisory Board is chaired by the Vice Chairman of CA, Russ Arts. But we have members from major companies, Verizon and Northrop Grumman and Motorola and Cisco and JP Morgan Chase and all that. In fact, our board meeting is tomorrow in the same room. We have a separate board for healthcare. Scientific Council has the professors from the other universities. Let me just, by the way, there is a little one-page summary over there and some of the major accomplishments. So this building was built with $50 million grant from the state. We've gotten about $160 million of research grants from federal agencies and state agencies. We've done about 320 projects with the industry partners, 210 projects with the federal agencies, 123 inventions, more than 680 research publications, and 4 new startup companies based upon the work that we have done. 2 of them are located in this building, and 2 are outside of this building. And in fact, another new startup has come out over the last few months. So this basically gives you an idea. I did not have the time to go and describe to you the major work that we have done, but I think you can go to our site and you can get a lot more information. So we're very pleased you are here. We're here to help the companies, whether it's small, large, or medium companies. We work with them. If you have a problem, that's how we make our living. We try to find answers for that. So thank you again.
Thank you very much, Doctor. If you really listen to what Congressman Bishop had to say about the partnership between government, education, and the private sector, and all that the doctor talked about in terms of services that are available here, it's no wonder that we as a nation are the greatest innovators in the world today. And it's really great to hear, and it's also heartwarming to know that because of people like the doctor and Congressman's work and all the people on this panel, that the future does look bright. We just have to solve this dislocation problem about moving forward into a new and greater working environment for small business than has hitherto existed. Now I'd like to introduce Dr. Rong Zhao, and I hope I got that right, Doctor. He's the coordinator of the New York State Strategic Partnership for Industrial Resurgent, or SPIRE program. He's the director of Software Systems Division at CWIT, responsible for initiating and managing collaborative R&D projects, as well as overseeing the development of technology-based solutions. When I was reading his bio, the thing that struck me was the data mining piece. So for those of you who manage information as part of your business, I would ask him a question which I thought about last night, which was, we typically think of data mining as something that's really only available to huge corporations with billions of bits of information and the resources to harvest them. But the truth of the matter is data mining probably should be available to many of you, and maybe he has some insight into that. But I digress. He's also the Deputy Director of National Science Foundation, and he's a consultant to several Fortune 500 companies. So with that, I give you the good doctor.
Thank you so much, Bill. And absolutely, you're right. Data mining these days, you've probably heard about big data, right? Everybody is inundated by data. But since I guess we're trying to keep everything under 5 minutes, so I'll try not to digress. And if I do it in 2 minutes, do I get some extra credit? Okay. So the SPUR program, I coordinate for the computer science department. We have other coordinators for other engineering departments. This is a program that was started 18 years ago by our dean, Dr. Yakov Shamash. It is now in different campuses all over SUNY, the SUNY system in Albany, Binghamton, Buffalo, and so forth. And I believe Stony Brook has the largest one. I have some numbers later on to show you. So what does this program do? It basically provides not only matching funds, but also our best resources, which are our students, to work on your projects. This is kind of an internship program, but it is more than an internship program because the students can work on your projects year-round, not just in summer, and also there's matching fund from the university. So the students are hired by the university, not by the companies, which reduces a lot of the paperwork. You don't have to worry about, insurance and all the tax filing and so forth. And the university hires them, so they're on university payroll. And also there's, as I said, there's some matching fund to help you accelerate your, the development of your products and, services and so forth. So we have this program, It's been around for 18 years. It's been very successful. A lot of our students graduated and, worked on the projects, the SPUR projects when they are here, pursuing their undergraduate, graduate degrees in the various engineering programs. And then after they graduate, they join the local companies. Instead of going to Manhattan or the West Coast, they actually stayed on Long Island and continued to work with the company. I bumped into a student who was one of the students on my early SPUR projects 10 years ago, working for a local company in Hapog. I think, he worked there for about a year before he graduated, like 8 years ago, and he's still working over there and having a lot of fun. So that's just one of many examples. And so it works both ways. Sometimes companies come to us with a problem, like, I have this engineering problem, or I need to develop this software, or I need this new material tested to see if it fits into my product. Or there's new energy solutions that I need to implement. So can you help on the technical side, right? So that's one way we can help. And the other way is to see what's coming out of faculty research out here, like Donna said earlier, and then we can try to match that with local companies' expertise and see if we can find a company to partner with us to commercialize it. So it works both ways. And so there's advantages to the industries and advantages to the university. Helping the students get internship opportunities, helping our faculty to really explore what can be done with their technical expertise. So we have coordinators in the different engineering departments. I have brochure over there, so there's contact information, and also contact information is later on the last slide. So how does it work? Basically, we have a 2-page proposal, very simple. Define the project, what is it, and what's the time frame, what's the deliverables, and then I'll help you, or one of my colleagues will help you put together a budget. So this will cost, this much to hire 2 students or 1 student, or maybe get a faculty to provide some assistance, and so forth. So we'll put together a budget, get it into the university system, and within a week or 2, it gets approved by the SPUR office, and then you're good to go, basically. And of course, we need to hire the students at the same time. So you contact myself or one of my colleagues in the SPUR office, and we can help you put together the scope of the project, the budget, and figure out about how much matching you will be able to get. Usually up to 40% of the cost will be matched by will be provided by the university, and then we submit it and then get the project started. Some of the numbers over the 18 years, and Donna mentioned the Biodex earlier as an example of tech transfer, and I can use Biodex as an example of a successful SPUR partner. So a couple of years ago, through the same gentleman that we know, I had 4 computer science undergraduate students. We built 2 games, computer games applications that are embedded now in their rehabilitation devices for balance training and gait training. And they're now being used in nursing homes and PT offices and clinics and so forth. I actually have one in my lab, if you're interested in seeing it. It's a catchball game for balance training. So we did that through the SPUR program. And we're working on a data mining project right now. That's a different story. Please feel free to contact me or one of my colleagues if you're interested in utilizing the SPUR program and our student resources. And I have some brochures over there. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Doctor. Next on the agenda is Dr. Lawrence Weber. He's the Business Development Manager for both CWIT and the Center for Advanced Technology. He recruits corporate partners at all stages of development for collaborative projects, manages the provisioning of materials, logistic and strategic support, and he is also the entrepreneur in residence. He aids in diverse early phase ventures as they work through their strategic planning for the business and all their funding issues. With that, Doctor.
Well, thank you so much, and it's really wonderful to see everybody here today.
As you listen to the descriptions of different programs that come to the aid of companies that are sponsored here at Stony Brook University, bear in mind that these are all complementary. In other words, they're supplementary, they add to one another. And you can work with any number at the same time. So, do come in and see how we can coordinate to help you. And I'd like to explain a little bit about how the Center for Advanced Technology, CAT, helps companies, and I will touch a little bit on CWIT, apart from Dr. Sharma's eloquent words on the subject, just as sort of at the interface, how they work with one another. Now, if I'd like to get rid of this. Okay. So one of the things to do is to define the pathways in which campus programs do assist companies. Now, this is a great example of data mining. For example, in CWIT, we have a large data facility and massive trunk lines of data transmission equipment, so that a small company, just citing this as an example, a small company who could not afford a large data facility can come in and rent space in hours, and maybe work with a faculty member such as Professor Zhao, and even perhaps take up some space to be close to where all this is going on. And this company would not otherwise be able to afford it. Well, there are four major pathways, and that's the second pathway, what I just described, access to unique infrastructure for research. Another pathway is offsetting the cost of faculty collaborations. The SPUR program does that well, as do CWIT and the SensorCAD as well. And I'm going to explain that in a little more detail momentarily. There are also rapid prototyping opportunities on campus, and those are accessed by collaboration with SBU faculty member. There is a sort of an uncertainty, but the fact that there's an uncertainty in what you're developing, that fits the definition of research, and then you can, by collaboration with SBU faculty, you can pursue that in our facilities here on campus. And we offset your cost. We actually have cash money to put into some of these projects. For example, I brought with me some show and tell pieces from our prototyping laboratory, which I'll get to when I show the picture of the prototyping laboratory. Thank you, Donna. Thank you very much. And as mentioned, we also have an entrepreneur in residence program, which I represent, and I am an entrepreneur. I have a disclosed side business, and thank you. Now, specifically, we support these collaborations. The SPUR program has a cash match to the company, and we collectively, between SPUR and CWIT and the SensorCAD, can lower the overhead of a project. Now, suppose you want to do 10 pens worth of work, picking monetizing the pen, 10 pens worth of work on campus. Okay, normally, because it's 57% overhead, it'll cost you 15.7 pens. But with the overhead reduction that we can apply through the courtesy of the Vice President of Research, it goes down to 11.5 pens. And furthermore, there's between SPUR and the SensorCAD, we can also actually put cash into it. So Ron mentioned the 40% match. At the end of the day, with the SensorCAD or SPUR, you're getting the project at about half off academic scale, which is an awfully good deal. And these projects, by dint of using students very substantially, also help you identify prospective future employees who are already trained in your products. We do help companies with their proposals. We will write a co-proposal with a company. We'll write a letter of support for a company's proposal, and we love to bring people together with in our network. We also offer continuous faculty relations assistance so that everybody's on the same page. Normally, the faculty members who engage in collaborative projects with companies love to do so and are very eager to do so, and nevertheless, we like to have everybody's expectations known at the outset. Now, here's a picture from our
dedicated rapid prototyping laboratory. You can see on the right, this is how we started with the machine shop. But after, so many fingernails were drilled and we couldn't get anything done twice the same way, we went into generations of automatic prototyping. Now, you can see the first generation, if I can see it, there we go. The first generation is here. This was like when back in 15 years ago, when they needed to build something, they went to Radio Shack, they bought a box. They had some parts hand machined, and they assembled it, and this was the DNA sequencer, which was invented in the laboratory, which is a very interesting commercial story, which I'll tell you by the fire sometime if you're interested. It'll take a little while. And that's the first generation. Now, the second generation, which Donna has been so helpful in getting close to hand, is our acrylic technology. Now, acrylic plastic is a non-electrically conductive and non-magnetic material, so it's great for electronic breadboards. Now, this is made by automatic parts cutting. So you submit a computer program to a robot, which happens to be shown on the left side of the slide, it doesn't matter, and you get a bunch of flat acrylic parts, and then you assemble them. And you can see all this stuff was made in our laboratory as a breadboard, and this particular design is actually from a project that we did supporting an electric utility who wanted to have a self-powered, i.e. solar in this case, sensor system to tell when and if somebody's intruding into the equipment area. And that's one example. You can see these after the conclusion of this event. And then the third generation is the 3D printing, where we still, as you see, we still make use of our acrylic technology in some cases. But this was actually a device that was made for a large company. We designed the circuits, we built the electronics, we made it, if it looks like part of a gun, yes it is, it's a shot counter. And the shot counter goes in the grip of the gun. We made measurements, we encapsulated it into a 3D printed piece that goes into the grip of the gun. And at the end of the day, the company gets computer files that they can take to the manufacturing floor. Now, if you're interested in seeing this laboratory today, I can take probably the first 5 people who identify themselves when we're all done.
It's done. They mean it.
So one of the underlying messages here is that if you inform us of your technology or business needs, we will be happy to canvass Stony Brook University programs, faculty members, and our statewide network of NISTAR technology centers for applicable expertise. And I like to show this photo of Albany taken from the SUNY Chancellor Suite with the state capitol up the hill, with the dome of the Research Foundation on the right. And we're so grateful to the state legislature for continuing our funding. And my last slide is, this is the SensorCat resume. We've been credited with, well, the important part to you is we did 24 projects with 18 companies last year, and it's been working out. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Doctor.
I will be presenting Diane Fable's slides.
Oh, okay.
So you don't have to introduce her.
Okay, would you like to just take it from here then?
Nobody has confused me yet with the good Diane Fable. She could not make it today. I would like to tell you about a companion program at Stony Brook University, which is another Center for Advanced Technology, which is the Medical Biotechnology Center. This is in PDF, full screen mode, and there we go. So I'll just launch right into that. Now they are working in an analogous fashion to other programs on campus. Their focus is pharmaceutical developments and medical diagnostics. And these focuses come from NISTAR, our designating agency who says, okay, you can have a Center for Advanced Technology on your campus. Now their mission, the Biotech Cat's mission, is catalyzing the translation of basic biomedical sciences into medical diagnostics and therapeutic benefits to human health and economic growth. And in this pursuit, there are numerous services that they support at the Center for Biotechnology, which is how we affectionately call the Biotech Cat, Annual Life Sciences Summit. Now, this is an exciting event which they have developed over a period of many years. And I was a speaker at one of the early ones. I spoke in the area of venture capital formation, which was part of my professional background. And this year, you can really see how they built out that event. It's chock full of research and funding and investment opportunities. It's coming up very soon. It's not too late to register. October 31st through the next day, November 1st. And I give the website where you can see all the details. I have copies of these slides and my slides in the back with the brochures. They also sponsor what they call biopartnering meetings, in which they actually invite companies to meet together with faculty members who they think might be relevant to them. And they have the Innovative Technology Development Program, which is a program of direct investment in academic company collaborations for translational research and technology development, which in different words is exactly what the SPUR program and the Sensor Cat also do in our designated subject area fields. They further support SBIR applications by companies. I take it everyone knows what an SBIR application is. Anybody doesn't know? And we can link you on campus to numerous resources to help you with this. We can write support letters. We can be a subcontractor. You know, sometimes a support letter will be written by a senior faculty member on campus. We really approve of this. This is great. This is strategically important for the country. This is something that we're working on as well. And you know they're going to need a left-modulated Framis, and they're very expensive. But we have one, and we'll let them use ours, and you won't have to pay for it, so you'll leverage your funds. And that's another, this is not about venture capital, but that's another benefit of these programs. If you have a company receiving invested funds from an investor, and part of the use of the funds is some research, well, using the campus offset of costs, then you leverage the invested funds. So if you want to build an innovation economy, it would help you to have an infrastructure to encourage companies in that field. And the Biotech Cat has co-founded the New York Biotechnology Association, which works with companies at all stages of development. The Long Island Life Sciences Initiative, who was the original organizer, to my knowledge, of the annual Life Sciences Summit. And they co-founded the Long Island High Technology Incubator, which is a business incubator on the medical campus. We have an incubator at CWIT, and there are other incubators on campus. And you can see their website on the slide. So finally, this is something about their results. In the period of 2001 through 2009, they were co-funding 61 company projects at about half and half, it looks like. The picture on the right shows the director of the Center for Biotechnology, Professor Clinton Rubin. I've not met the individual who he's sitting with. I can't tell you about that one. But do contact Diane Fable, Director of Operations of the Center for Biotechnology, for further information. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Doctor. Last but not least, I'd like to introduce Gloria Glowacki. She's the Associate Regional Director at the Small Business Development Center. She has over 30 years of experience in new business development, small business advocacy, and sales and marketing initiatives. She's been Vice President of Product Management for McGraw-Hill, and she was named by the Long Island Business News as one of the 50 most influential women in Long Island. So with that, Gloria.
Well, yes, I'm Gloria Glowacki, and I'm the Associate Regional Director of the Stony Brook Small Business Development Center. And just to keep everybody moving along, I'm going to go completely off the slides and just talk to you about who we are and what we do. As the Small Business Development Center, we are the quintessential advocate for small businesses. That's all we do. That's our only goal. Our resource partners are our best friends if they're being a good resource partner and helping our clients, because that's pretty much all we care about. Pat and Donna talked a little bit about helping people retrain as they were losing their positions. Well, we have entrepreneurship as another option. And as that option, we will walk them through the process of starting a business. We do not charge at all for our services, so that's critically important because these are the people who are least able to afford payment. So we walk them through the process, we meet with them one-on-one in a confidential atmosphere and help them through the process of starting a business because it's a difficult process if there's not somebody there mentoring you and helping you. We also work with existing businesses who have a different set of needs entirely. The existing businesses are now looking at export, they're looking at procurement, they're looking at expansion and marketing and purchasing buildings. Well, we have a whole group of counselors whose expertise is phenomenal to help these businesses grow. So on the one hand, you have the new businesses who they need their business plans and market research and all of that, and we work with them. You have the existing businesses who have a different set of needs, and we work with them as well. So here we are, and here's what we do. I'm getting rid of all of the, poor Ann, she worked so hard on this presentation for me, and I walk right away from it. Okay, so we do small business startup and expansion, business plan development, loan information assistance, training programs, marketing, including social media, export-import, procurement, and women's services. These are the basic needs of the small businesses. And we don't say it lightly, we've researched it, we've worked very hard on it. As things grow and change, it is our responsibility to be very proactive in the areas of need. So what we have done is we have begun this Hispanic initiative, where we are working with a whole set of other people to help them assimilate and become part of the bigger group of entrepreneurs, which is wonderful. So we have hired a special counselor just to address the needs, to help them. They know how to work among each other, with each other. They don't know how to go beyond that community. And that's what this initiative is all about. And we're very, very pleased at the partners who have joined us, including, if I forget somebody, I'm sorry, Brookhaven Town, Islip Town, Suffolk County, the Chambers of Commerce. They have all come to us and said, we want to partner with you on this initiative. So what we do is we have a counselor who's meeting with these clients one-on-one. We have workshops that are bilingual, and everything we print is in both languages. So that on the left-hand side of the page, they can read it in Spanish, and on the right-hand side of the page, they could read it in English and become comfortable with the language. We're just setting out with a whole new English for Entrepreneurs. It's a whole curriculum to help people. Again, it's always about assimilation. It's always about assimilation. We work with veterans. We have veterans programs that we're more than happy to work with. And there are certain initiatives that a veteran may not know about, but we do. That's our job to do and to know and to help them. And I want to just hit on a couple of other things. So right now, again, as I said, we try to be very proactive. The Hispanic Initiative is one of our initiatives. We also just sent somebody to get national certification in export-import, because that's an area that our small businesses are going into now. And it's up to us to know what they need to do and what they're going to encounter along the way and guide them through it. So we've segmented our Small Business Development Center. It's a little different than a lot of the others, where we have somebody who's a specialist in social media and somebody who's a specialist in procurement and someone who's a specialist in women's services, so that we bring all of the expertise together and all of our counselors benefit from all of this information. Okay, and we were fortunate enough to be the first SBDC to win an ICERTA award of $250,000, which we used again for energy efficiency, renewable energy, and to put together a little publication to help everybody with different ways of different aspects of renewable energy. I'm talking as fast as I can to get us back on schedule here. Okay, so business plan preparation. specific industry data provided by our research network. Critically important part of what we do. We have, our research network is a group of librarians in Albany whose sole purpose it is to do research for all of you. So if you need market research, if you need trends, whatever information it is that you need, they will provide for you. Day-to-day business, and there are different kinds of lenders. I want to talk about that as well. There are different lenders, there are different needs, there are different requirements. We just did a whole workshop, Lisa and a bunch of others in this room, we worked together to do a workshop on creditworthiness, because the big banks are different than the credit unions, and the credit unions are different than the micro lenders, and the micro lenders are different than the alternative lenders. So it's up to us to help you and find what is the best vehicle for you and for your business. So let's talk about reality. A new business is opened in Suffolk County by an SBDC client every 2.5 hours. Every 2.5 hours, a new business is opened in Suffolk County. I love that. A job is created or saved by an SBDC client every 90 minutes. A job is saved or added to the Suffolk County economy. I think that's dynamic. A new client is assisted every 40 minutes. So now here are the numbers I love. I'm a girl all about the stats. So we have in Stony Brook Small Business Development Center in 2011, we have assisted 900 plus small business clients. We have created over 400 jobs. We have put into the Suffolk County economy through small businesses $29.8 million this past year. So anybody who thinks small business is small is just plain wrong. You hear the soundbite that says small business is the backbone of the economy. Well, here are the facts to support it. We're more than a soundbite, we're real. We have our contact information, and I'm going to be here to talk to you. Kate, my very able assistant, administrative manager, is here to help. We will talk to you. It's almost unfortunate not to use our services. Again, it costs you nothing, and it opens the doors for you. And I'm done. I was quick, huh?
Well, thank you very much, Gloria. I think you'd all agree that quite a lineup of expertise and available resources to all of you. One thing that I would encourage all the business people in this room to do is it's in your best interest for things like this to grow. It needs the support of the business community. Now, I'm not suggesting that you advise your competitor to come join you here. We want you to maintain your comparative advantage in the marketplace. That said, I would encourage you to bring any people you know and friends to organizations like this so that they grow. And the more people that become part of it, the greater ability people like this on this panel can help all of you. And when that happens, many jobs are created, the economy gets better, we become in a growth mode, and that is particularly good for society as a whole. So with that little diatribe, I will open it up to questions for the panelists. Someone's got to have a question. All right. Someone have a microphone for that gentleman?
Maybe you can hear me. Yes?
I can.
Good morning, and thank you for that. I appreciate being here. Lisa invited me. We're a company out here in Brookhaven that makes muffins. We're a commercial bakery. There's a lot of equipment that talks to each other, and there's a lot of energy that's used. And I was trying to listen and try to figure out how I could take advantage of an opportunity here. And so I think where we need the most help is in energy, smart energy. We consume a lot of energy, we pay a lot for our energy. And it seems that, and this is just a question out to the panel, do you work closely with LIPA? Do you have any relationships there?
I am very appreciative that you asked that question, because one piece we didn't discuss here is the Advanced Energy Center, which is right behind us, and I am housed there. I have an Advanced Energy Training Institute, and work very closely with LIPA. As a matter of fact, they were at my board meeting yesterday too, back to back. The second meeting was about energy efficiency, auditing, and assessment in small commercial environments. So we are working very, very closely with them, and tomorrow I have ULDQS coming in to talk about ISO 50001, the Energy Efficiency Protocol for businesses. So after this meeting, perhaps we can speak one-on-one about what you need. But a critical piece that we're looking at from our perspective is the operational piece of energy efficiency, reducing overhead, and integrating it with your processes.
Great.
So I think we're right on. Thank you for the question.
Great question. It speaks to margin pressure, doesn't it? Muffins have the same margin pressure as loans, it appears to me. Any other questions? Sir.
Could be answered by a couple of different people. Any technology developed by private industry, does Stonebrook have any rights to those?
If the technology was developed here on campus, so if we did the research and it was funded by an industry partner, we would be able to file the patents in the names of the inventors who would predominantly be faculty members. And then we could take those patents that we've invested in and license them to the company for use on an exclusive basis. So you get the benefit of having access to those patents, even though it was invented here on campus.
Okay, but are private companies that's using Seawood facilities saying they're?
No, we don't.
Yeah.
Only if the faculty researchers were involved in the development.
Thanks.
Great question. Oh,
Things are a little different in the incubator spaces on campus, and under certain circumstances, depending on how that's structured for the company may own the intellectual property that it generates, even those university spaces. And I would just like to say that we do many projects under these conditions with companies. The main thing is that there's something here which is really a jewel to the company, which just fits and completes the puzzle of the company, and it really makes a compelling reason for them to work with us. And these circumstances all work harmoniously.
well said. Next.
What the cost for each of the services that we described? So for example, Florida, you talked about how you help small businesses, large businesses. How do you charge for that?
It's very interesting. We have one charge only, and that is no charge. All of our services are free. The only time we've ever charged for anything is if we have to pay a speaker at a workshop, and believe me, we're too poor to lay out the money, so we will have to pass that on, but it's very, very rare. It's like QuickBooks or something like that. But other than that, there's no charge for our services. And if you're a client for as long as you wish to be a client. And at some point, you fire us because you just don't need the assistance anymore.
Yes.
Ms. McGloria, do you do anything with franchises?
We do a great deal with franchises on both sides of it. A business that could be an existing business that wants to start franchising out that what they have. Also, businesses that we have entrepreneurs that want to start a business, and they're really not enthusiastic about going in on their own, and they will purchase a franchise because then they get some assistance with the marketing and with the setup of the facility and all of that, and it's less of a dramatic change for them. So we do it on both sides of it, and I think it's a great idea. I really do. You know what's a really good idea for too? The people we were talking about who are transitioning from one business to another, and they know that that old job is never going to come back again, so that they need to have something, but they need to learn it and have some support. And I think in those instances, particularly a franchise is something worth exploring.
Great question. Yes.
There's so much here. It's a little bit overwhelming. Is there one place that a business could come to say, these are the issues we're having? Can someone direct me to the right person, or is it just start making phone calls and see what connects?
Well, I hate to take over the conversation, but that would be.
I was just going to say, Suffolk Federal Credit Union. I'm sorry, Lori.
No, but that's what we do. We do connect the dots, and everything, look at our website, because all of our workshops, everything we have is on that website. The other area is the Suffolk County Small Business Advisory Council, which also does that more on a county level.
But even just everything that's available on campus, I've actually seen this presentation before, and I'm still overwhelmed trying to think how to get the businesses I work with in touch with. Would one program be better than or the other?
I have a comment about that. Programs outside of the Small Business Development Center are somewhat divided by subject area, broad subject areas. Now, nevertheless, the report card for all of these programs is economic impact is emphasized by our sponsors and opening. So it behooves us, and we like to do it. We like to help a company find the best match for their needs on campus. So, and sometimes it's not an R program that we're directly affiliated with. So I would encourage anyone with these interests to speak with any of us, and you will, and Glory is a good place to start, or just random access. And it's our goal to get you the best fit on campus. So you don't have to know.
Yeah, all of these folks that you see here, we all report to the same Vice President of Economic Development. So we are very enthusiastic about helping each other and working together. So whichever one you call, whether it's Pat or any of these people, we are going to talk to the other one and go, you know what, this is something I think you can help this client with.
Thank you.
Good question. Sir?
Yes, I know most of the talk has been geared toward corporation, for-profit companies and so on. Do any of this apply to nonprofit corporations? I mean, do you work with nonprofit corporations?
Doctor?
Yeah, whether it is non-profit or whether it is for profit, we are willing to help the expertise that we have in different areas.
Any other questions? Well, listen, folks, on behalf of all the panelists, it's been an honor to be here today and to serve you, and I hope we get to serve you in the future, whether it's as a lender or an advisor to a new burgeoning business. But anyway, thank you very much for coming, and please join us for networking afterwards.